Hello, and welcome to Create Utopia, in which hosts Chicory and Zero muse over many issues in the style of so many modern millennials, all around the peaceful, flickering light of video games. We hope you enjoy it. Now on with the show. Awesome. Except not awesome today. What are we playing today, Zero?
We continue Chicory's new favorite game to watch me play, Don't Starve, where I am completely lost from anything I was doing last week, and we're both tired, so it's going to be an exciting night.
And
And
we're talking about really depressing stuff. The school shooting that happened, today in Oregon. And we're sort of finding out live as it happens. There's a community college, 7 dead. Or 10 hurt, 7 dead. And New York Post is saying Oregon gunmen singled out Christians during rampage. I don't know. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on with school shootings? Why do they happen? Why? What
you're the
do
one who
people...
hates violence and Christianity, so...
Of the two, I hate violence more.
That makes sense.
I think Christianity and religion is an excuse to get away with violence. It's an excuse to get away with violence, but in and of itself, it's not that bad. But violence is bad. Oh, a green mushroom.
I am inclined to agree. I mean, it's happening once a week now.
What? Once a week, really? It feels like every other month, maybe.
Oh, I'm gonna go hit that scary tree. Totally normal tree.
Which one is the scary tree? Oh, that one. The totally normal tree.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was scary in retrospect.
I love this game. This game continues to be awesome. School shootings continue to be terrible and awful. And... Whoa.
Yeah, I feel like it's the recurringness of this.
Yeah.
Where... Go ahead.
Where they're becoming more commonplace. They just... People react, less every time. And when... Oh, what the fuck was his name? The red pill kid. The spoiled
Don't worry
kid
about it.
That...
Don't even bother to, remember their names. It's what they want.
I know, but he had this huge manifesto, and then there were people talking about, well, if you're going to do a shooting, now you have to have a manifesto, or you're not going to be, remembered. And, at what point do you have to just say, well, what needs to change? What have we changed? Why are people doing this? And how can we, convince them not to do it anymore? How can we stop them? I think convincing people not to hurt each other rather than forcing people.
Is that feasible, though? So there's a prevailing wisdom that's going around that essentially everything changed at Sandy Hook. Because the moment people decided it was perfectly cool to kill, children, it became perfectly cool to kill, anybody.
How did people decide it's perfectly cool to kill children?
Because Sandy Hook was a school shooting at an elementary school, and we decided that we weren't going to do anything about it. No laws changed. Nothing was really different after Sandy Hook. And at that point, nothing changed. We did not sufficiently care about the people who died at Sandy Hook to change any laws.
I just still don't understand what could possess someone to want to think that killing, not just hurting, but killing other people is any kind of an answer ever.
Well, I mean, we've talked about how you and I have different perspectives on the whole, killing people as an answer. And You know, while we have our disagreements there, this is there's this point, there's an axis point where you have crossed that line between like too easy, like weapons are too accessible, and simultaneously there's too little self-control. And we've really kind of fostered both of those. And one of the things I talk about with Rose on a semi-regular basis is, well, I believe guns, anyone should be able to buy a gun. I think guns should be considered at a minimum as dangerous as cars are. And right now it's easier to get a gun than it is to like drive a car.
Yeah, but cars are really expensive. A gun is only a couple $100.
Or car. Yeah. Well, sure, a gun is only a couple $100, but that's part of the problem. I mean, yes, that's true. A gun is only a couple $100.
And a car is like a couple thousand.
I bought lots of cars for a couple $100.
Well, but most people buy cars for a couple hundred. I guess it would be more fair to say. Or a couple thousand.
Okay, but here's the thing. If you were just buying a car to kill people, would you spend that much on it?
No, but I don't think that people think about cars as killing devices. Not anyone other than you and I, maybe. But that's only because
actually
I think that
really
I will die in a car.
That's actually really interesting because that implies what you just said has the implication that people think of guns as killing devices. Which is, I don't disagree with that statement, by the way, but it's kind of like antithetical to what a lot of the guns rights advocates are saying. Like the old statement, guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Yeah.
Like
but it's like the saying with the sword. Like, the sword is a tool, you just have to know how to use it. But what is the tool for? It's not a fucking, like, axe or hammer that is, like, kind of a multi-purpose tool. Like, you can't chop down a tree with a piece of, like, a sword. You can't build a house with a sword. The sword is built and designed for hurting people and killing people. The gun is similarly, like, it's sort of like a bow and arrow. Yeah, you can kill animals with it, and humans are animals. So, it's a killing device. It's designed to kill.
Right. And in fact, I'm not sure, like, a gun has another purpose.
No, it's like a bow and arrow. There's no other purpose to a bow and arrow other than to kill things. And a gun is just a better version of a bow and arrow.
I can drive nails with my bow and arrow. I feel that you are unfairly maligning it.
Well, look, I mean, like, I like shooting bow and arrow, and I like shooting guns. Like, they're fun toys. Ah, spider! I think that they're useful for, you know,
but I need food.
Doing things like that. They're certainly fun, and I don't want people to, like, not be able to get them. But I don't think that you should have sort of like be lying about what. Okay, those spiders are really distracting, Zero.
I'm killing them, don't worry.
Oh my god. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Something about guns and bow and arrows.
You enjoy shooting guns and you enjoy shooting bow and arrows and you don't think that should be taken away from people, but, and then you kind of like...
But, scary spiders are really distracting, and you just shouldn't lie. Like, you shouldn't be like, well, you know, hunters and, like, Second Amendment rights. The Second Amendment, really, the Second Amendment today is more equivalent to people like whistleblowers and, like, hacktivists than people with guns. Like, the concept of the Second Amendment is so that you could overthrow your government. Right?
Whoa, we need to have these conversations when you're tired more. I like your train of thought there. The Second Amendment is more like is more similar to the like whistleblowers, which I think a lot of people disagree with, but you're right. If the goal is to keep your government accountable, then a whistleblower is doing a better job of following the Second Amendment than anyone who, like,
has a fucking
Goes and
AK-47. Like, AK-47 versus American military, you're not gonna stand a fucking chance. You are not going to be able to overthrow the American government with an AK-47, no matter basically how big your militia is, because they'll just fucking fly in drones and other things, and our military is awesome. We have an awesome military. It's really scary. The only way that you can break that down is by fucking with basically the now moving parts, which is the internet and the knowledge that the government has.
We have a literally awesome military in that it inspires awe in people. Shock and/or awe.
Yeah. It is what it is. Let's not get into that.
I agree with you. Our military is amazing right now. We have some of the most interesting technology in the world.
Yeah. But so I don't think that you should be able to play around with saying that guns have anything to do with the Second Amendment. I would say maybe more pursuit of happiness and, like, a liberty. Guns are certainly a liberty. And I think that that should be, like, cars enjoyed by people, you know, as responsibly as possible.
All right, so let's talk about cars. Cars are a thing that we kind of take for granted in America, and despite certain of our driving histories, we're actually pretty good at. Compared to some of the other countries in the world, we're really good at cars.
Really? Really?
Like, yeah.
As far
I've
as
heard
car
stories
deaths?
like driving. Like, like we are really
much better at
like,
than you killing these horrible spiders.
I'm hungry. I'm trying to find food.
And your little heart is broken.
Yeah, well, these things happen. But that's the point. Like, if you go to Vietnam and places where traffic lights are kind of a suggestion,
Yeah.
like, it's a lot more difficult to... You look at the way Americans drive, and you're suddenly a lot happier, even though we're good drivers. And we're good drivers because we require a long time before you're allowed to just drive a car around.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if that's true compared to some of the Scandinavian countries or Germany or things like that, where you have to have, you know, you don't get your driver's license until you're like 18, and you have to do more things in order to get the driver's license. But we do take it pretty seriously, and it is certainly sort of like a maybe a rite of passage in America. Like, we do take, as a culture, I think, our cars pretty seriously.
I would agree with you. We are not as strict on our driving regulations as Finland or the other places where it snows a lot, so you have to be able to drive on a skid track.
Yeah.
And you know what? There is a certain level of precedent for that when it comes to gun laws as well. Like, look at Israel, where I think in Israel every adult has to serve in the military for a period of time.
Yeah, I think Israel and South Korea.
And so think about how much more responsible we would be with guns if that was true. Because military work is hard. I mean, we both talked about how awesome, like, our military is. Our military does amazing things, but it's still really difficult to be in the military.
It certainly is.
My brother just got out of the military. Like,
yay! That's good. But I worry about, our country already has so much indoctrination, and what is the word for, like, when you're telling people how awesome our country is? And I think that the military only does more of that.
and essentially that is what the military does, yes. But at the same time...
Do you know where you are?
Not really.
You had, like, a bunch of really important stuff at the other place.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. It'll be fine. At the same time, a lot of our better founding fathers, like George Washington, was not a great military man, but he was unanimously elected president twice and easily could have pulled a Caesar and chose not to, and chose to retire.
Yeah.
And that's a big
good.
deal.
I think
Like,
north. Oh, I know there's a delay, but
There is a delay, and I found it while you were delaying.
sorry. Oh, there's a beehive. You're way out. Going back to the other place. Oh, there's a wormhole.
Anyway, this delay is the best thing ever.
Makes me feel alive.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to give us your final thoughts? The idea of indoctrination. I like the idea that we are a mock amendment. I think that's a real insight, and I wish I'd thought of it.
Well, you can take.
It's.
Well, don't take credit for it.
No, I'm gonna
give me credit.
I'm gonna credit you with it. Yeah.
I would say though,
It's a great
I still don't understand why we don't change at least something with school shootings. Like, we just bemoan them. We're like, oh, school shootings, oh, it's terrible.
Well,
but we don't
do
change.
your favorite thing. We pray for them.
Oh, I heard there's no noise. I could crush this tree seed with my super strong hands, he says. But yeah, I don't like them. I don't know what to do about school shootings. I don't know what could be done. Like, people are not gonna give up their guns. I don't even know if the concept of having people.
Hey Chicory, hey Chicory, hey Chicory, hey Chicory. You have something to say.
I do have something to say. Oh yeah, so last week for some reason, oh, it's so loud. Okay. Last week for some reason our game stopped recording. So now we're recording our final thoughts that we don't remember anymore from 2 weeks ago. Because I didn't put up the thing from last week. Because I'm terrible. I'm so terrible. So I'm really sorry that that happened. Please forgive us. Forgive me. Not Zero. It's not his fault. And like and subscribe.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, except for like maybe die. This guy looks really sad. He's super hungry. His heart's all broken. You're not doing awesome, bro. Anyway.
What's that?
Nothing.
You need to go and attack something.
Anyway. So yeah, like and subscribe our video, and hit us up on Twitter. I am 123chicory. Zero is at Zero Utopia. Hopefully sometime soon we'll find some stinking beefalo. Yeah.
That's true. I'm probably going to starve just to show her.
Thanks, I appreciate you doing that.
Do you remember the name of the game?
Don't starve.
What am I gonna do?
Probably starve and die. Or get eaten.
That's right. I thought I made a fishing rod. I did.
Yeah, you did. Look at his little wimbly legs. I never get tired of this game. I could just watch this game all day.
Alright, so, I mean, really, what were we talking about in that last episode? Can you remember?
School
Give it a
shootings and
shot.
stuff? Oh, and I was talking about how the Second Amendment is more close to whistleblowers than shooting arms. I mean, guns, owning guns. Shooting arms sounds terrifying, but interesting. The other thing that had forgotten about was the use of guns for protection, but there's so many other ways to protect yourself, like karate and mace.
What?
And paint guns. What?
I got us killed, don't worry.
Really? Whoa! Whoa, picky guy! You died.
I didn't even try to survive.
You failed.
Alright.
Total
I
failure.
believe that can end our episode.
Okay, great. Okay, well, like I said, like and subscribe. Thank you. We appreciate you watching. Hit us up. I am 123chicory. Zero's at Utopia. Peace, guys.
School shootings are bad. Don't do them, please.